PFF ranked Jayden Daniels the sixth best quarterback in the NFL last week or 2 weeks ago, something like that. Called him in the category of high-end starter, not elite. He's behind Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. Is that fair? Is that a fair spot for Jayden? 301-230-0980, 301-230-0980. I know it's kind of crazy that we're talking about this after 1 year. We've been grappling with that, in this conversation now for, how many months? I mean, if we go back really 8 months, sometime in October, November of last year, it started to become apparent that not only had they gotten it right, they had hit a home run by drafting Jayden Daniels. This guy was winning games, strapping a team as a rookie quarterback to his back, overcoming the lack of, consistent defense, consistent run stopping ability, consistent running game on their own. A roster that was, fair to Midland, let's just say, around him, and yet they were able to win 12 games, many of them in walk-off or near walk-off fashion because of his play, and then win 2 impressive playoff games on the road before succumbing to a great team last year in the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC title game. I personally, have felt for months now, going back to certainly early November, there isn't anybody other than a couple of dudes that you'd put in front of him. And I think they got the right list: Mahomes, Burrow, Jackson, Allen, whatever order you want to put them in. But that's it for me. After that, it's Jayden. And Jayden's elite. He played at an elite level last year. I like Jalen Hurts. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, and I have been since he started to play coming into the league. I think he's clutch. Big-time moments he delivers. He's not Jayden Daniels as a runner, as a thrower, as a playmaker, and Jayden has what appears to be the same clutch gene that Jalen Hurts has. I wouldn't have Jalen anywhere near the top 5 personally. I'd still personally, if I were starting a team for, say, the next 2 to 3 years, it's not, I want to take kind of age out of it because I want to just talk about the best quarterbacks now. I think I'd still have Stafford instead of Hurts. I think I'd still have Herbert, and I know Herbert has not delivered in the clutch moments like Jalen has. That's true. I'm still enamored with Jordan Love's talent. Probably that's the list of guys that I might have in front of Hurts. But anyway, 301-230-0980 if you want to weigh in. We've got an open line. Is number 6 fair for Jayden Daniels in the PFF rankings? I say he should be at 5. Max, what do you think?
I'm in agreement that he should be 5. I've been doing this since the end of last year. I mean, it's very easy for me. Like it's the top 4, and then it's him, like you said. I can't. Yes, Jalen Hurts has done the clutch things in the playoffs, but at the same time, that team around him has lifted him to greater heights. And I think he's doing that on the backs of his teammates. Jayden Daniels is lifting his teammates up on his own. So that's I got to put Jayden at 5 ahead of Jalen Hurts, and much like you, I don't know if this is if my view of Jalen Hurts is skewed because I'm a Commanders fan, or if I think of Jalen Hurts in the right light, because he should be somewhere around 9 or 10. I think he should be under Herbert and Stafford, ahead of Goff on this list. So put him at the 8th slot, but 5 just seems and feels way too high. I feel like that's coming off of a Super Bowl. I feel like that's why he's where he is.
There are a couple. I mean, like, I love Mahomes. I love Burrow. I love Lamar. I like Josh. Like, I love all those guys. I think, you could make a case that you'd want Jayden in front of Joe Burrow because of the injury factor. Lamar Jackson, he's missed games, has not played well in the postseason. I think those two guys, you could make a case for Jayden in front of either one of those two. All right, let's get to the phone lines. 301-230-0980. PFF's rankings of the NFL's projected 32 starting quarterbacks entering 2025 has Jayden Daniels at number 6 behind Mahomes, Burrow, Jackson, Allen, and Hurts. Robert in Annapolis, go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Bill Parcells once used that expression with Tony Romo. Let's hold off on the anointing oils, which is essentially what you've done with Daniels. He certainly appears to be someone who's going to rise to the top or near the top, but you can't conclude that at this point in time. So, I think it's a fair spot. Certainly Mahomes is number 1. He's claimed that spot. And then you got the next 4, Lamar, Allen, Burrow, those 3. You can kind of debate the order you want to put those in. And I certainly put Hurts after them because of what he's accomplished. But that's the thing when you're rating quarterbacks. Are you rating them for what they've done, not for their whole career necessarily, but at least for the past 3, 4, 5 years, or what's ahead? Because if you're going to project ahead, then you arguably could put Daniels up maybe at the top. And you said they would trade him Hurts. The Eagles would trade Hurts for Daniels. They very well might, but a lot of that has to do with the financial ramifications for the next 2 or 3 years. So
yeah, but you know what? Let's just say that they had comparable contract situations. Is there any doubt that if you were a team and you got to choose between Daniels and Hurts right now, would you really think that that's a debate?
I understand why you feel the way you feel because of what you saw, and you hate to do the schedule thing. But my Lord, you beat closely, won out several games against bad teams with bad quarterbacks. Let's see what happens now. Yep. They have a tougher schedule against better quarterbacks. That's the way it works. Aaron Rodgers was
played pretty well against Philly. Played pretty well against
I got all that.
against Tampa and Detroit in the postseason.
With half their defense missing, and the game they beat the Eagles in, Hurts wasn't in that game for the most part.
That's true.
But let's see
he was
how
gone
it
after the
pans
first
out.
quarter.
Doesn't play defense.
Okay. Let's
he
see how
doesn't play
it pans
defense,
out
though.
this year.
And Washington turned the ball over 5 times and still scored 36 points.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert.
I'm not trying.
Yeah, thank you as always. I want to get to a couple of more in here before we have to roll for the day. Billy and Chantilly, go ahead.
Kevin, I believe I was the first one to say this out loud. I'll say it again out loud. It's the time that for the Baltimore fans to evaluate whether or not the Lamar Jackson replacement of Flacco was the right move. I mean, it's time to start talking about that from a Baltimore fan perspective.
Lamar Jackson's a multi-time MVP.
I don't care. How many Super Bowls do you have? 0.
You should. And I loved Flacco and always felt like he was a bit underrated and a tremendous clutch quarterback in the postseason. But come on. The Ravens did not make a mistake moving on from Flacco and having Lamar Jackson be their starting quarterback.
To our friends in Baltimore, you'd have 3 more parades had they kept Flacco in quarterback. 3 more parades. Look, Jayden Daniels is number 1. I don't care about anybody else. I don't care what anybody says. This guy is the best rookie quarterback and going to be the second best quarterback probably in the history of the league. Okay, so what we're looking at here in the future, if they can keep him healthy, if Peters is able to get him a line that keeps him upright, we get a little bit of a running game, and if we get any deep, and by the way, I'm not sure that getting rid of Jeremy Chin was the best move. From a cultural perspective, obviously we'll find that out as the year progresses. We get half a defense, a decent line, and a decent running game. We'll probably win 6 Super Bowls with Jayden.
6 Super Bowls. Flacco would have won 3 more. He's already the best quarterback in the game. It's a good thing you're not prone to hyperbole. Good to have you again, Billy. Let's go to Bobby in North Carolina. Bobby, go ahead.
Hey, Kev. I got him ahead of Hurts, which makes him a top 5 quarterback, and I think that's pretty doggone good, buddy. The second-year quarterback, we got a top 5. So he's better than Hurts to me by far. But everything else is probably pretty much in line right now. But he's definitely, if he has the year, maybe what we think he might have, he can maybe be number 2, number 3 in the league. So, but we can win, but it's all about defense. I've been preaching the whole off season. will have enough offense to, move the scoreboard a lot every single Sunday. But it's all about the defense, brother. Can we get off the field?
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it. Hit him straight. Samaj, go ahead. Samaj, you there?
Yes.
Go ahead, man. You're on. What's up?
How you doing, Coach?
I'm good.
Thanks for taking my call as always, sir. Hey, man. I'm pretty solid with the list. I think it's pretty much semantics, flip-flopping any of them, including Mahomes as of last year, just last year alone. I think you could flip any one of them, 1 through 5, including Jayden at 5, in that order, flip them around. But one thing I do want to point out to you, just my personal opinion, I think you're looking at Jayden just a little bit too much through the Berg and Gold lens. That dude is spectacular, and I think what you're not giving enough credit for is that major intangible elephant in the room, which is his leadership. I don't think they would have accomplished half of what they've accomplished with not much any of the 5 quarterbacks in combination with that head coach. I think that team really, really focuses around Jalen, and I think that Super Bowl and the focus to obtain that championship, getting that chip, was mostly on his strength and his leadership. I just really believe that dude, from his days at Alabama all the way to now, his leadership
it's something else. And he's beloved there. He's beloved there. There's no doubt. And Samaj, I got to roll, man. Thanks for the call. I'm up against it.